Hi, it's Irene's World. It is what it is, and I'm going through my closet trying to get rid of stuff that doesn't serve me anymore. And I believe that once we're done, and this universal movie that is playing now in the universal minds of hearts and men, Covida, I call it Covida, has played out, you definitely will be a different person. So as I've been cleaning out my closet, not only the physical closet, but the closet of my heart, I couldn't help but muse over three specific places. And I don't know if also you have been going in that line of thinking, but these are the three that have stood out for me this week as we're counting down the lockdown. In fact, I stopped counting the lockdown. I just exist and live for each day. Number one, what has this worldwide pandemic brought to your consciousness awareness? Number two, whatever consciousness awareness that you have, what is it causing you to do or become? And finally, number three, is there a transformation taking place in your life because of what has been brought to your awareness? When we focus on awareness, I believe there are three areas that people are actually going to either be aware of or unaware of. This pandemic for humanity is either going to cause humanity to seek solutions from the exterior, to blame the exterior for whatever is playing out. But if you have been still and been quiet, like our president said, shh, hunama, listen. I believe the pandemic was here to tell us, humanity, be still and know, listen, so that you know what causes the effects on into your world of reality, objectivity. Because I believe Covida, as I called her, is the harvest of someone's thoughts. Because they say whatever is seen was not made by what was seen, but what was invisible. The thoughts of men. That will be another topic. So you're either seeking or you've become more aware what is going out, the deaths, and they will happen anyway because this is the harvest, or you're going to blame the changes in economics, or you're going to change your circumstances on this that has happened, or you have become more aware that whatever pans out in this world of objectivity or reality is due to a hidden factor, the invisible realm of cause. And I believe they taught us cause and effect wrongly in physics. But anyway, we learn. That's what life is all about. So for those who have journeyed inside the real closet, and I'm not saying lock yourself in a cupboard where the clothes are, but shutting out all the external things that have objectified, and be still and know that I am God. And by being still to know that I am God is not that you're saying that an outside creature from you, but being still and knowing that you are the I am, the divine life that causes consciously and unconsciously whatever pans out in this world of reality. Or you're simply unaware and you're indifferent. That is what the pandemic has caused for you. So depending on what consciousness has been brought to your awareness, it is leading you to take certain responses or certain actions. For others, they are going in a period of dying. They're killing off the old person they had defined from the place of unconsciousness, repenting. And by repenting, it doesn't mean when you go to the pastor to tell him how you slept with the neighbor's wife, but it is metanoia, a total spiritual rebirth, debunking what you have believed to be your truth and just being born again, which also brings us to the issue of being born again. And we'll talk about it another time. Everyone, wherever they are, is journeying into the final destination for all human beings, and we are simply here to awaken to the fact that we are the divine I am and always have been, who were thrown into this body of humans to awaken to the I amness and express divine love and goodness in whatever roles we have taken, or whatever skins that we are wearing, or whichever sphere we've decided to appear. So, which brings me to the issue of transformation. So whatever awareness you've got during this worldwide pandemic has led you to certain actions, redoing, rethinking, throwing out, redesigning, or totally remaining the same. And that's what's going to determine whether your life has been transformed out of this pandemic. I believe that COVID and many other disasters that will always affect humankind don't come to wipe us away, but I believe to wake us up so that we awaken to the divine purpose for all humanity. Because every creature called human here has the life of God. It's just that we come in this place when we are unconscious of that, and then wherever we have thrown, and whichever environment we're grown in, and whatever education we get, whatever traditions were imposed on us, whatever religion we take on, keeps us in that state of unconsciousness. And then finally, an activity or an incident comes and shakes humanity to hold, and then they're like, who, what, where did this come from? You can't help but start to question what causes these things that happen. Well, one thing COVID has revealed in our time and in our generation is that we all come from the same life force. It affects us equally. Doesn't know your money, doesn't know your status, doesn't know your country, doesn't know borders. It just knows that you're this human being that has divine life in it, and you are at the moment unconscious about it. So wake up and know that you are the I am, and you are the causes of the effect in this world of appearance that you call the earth. So what awareness has come to you during this worldwide pandemic, lockdown, shutdown? Is it the external, or have you really sought the kingdom within and you have become aware that you are the causer of the effect? And what is it causing you to do? And are you really being transformed from within or without? You know, they have already called it the new normal, and depending where your consciousness has been living, because where you're living and thinking right now, that's what's going to pan out when they finally physically let you into the places of work. You might find it a bit uncomfortable if you just remained indifferent, and you will find that people have moved on in their thinking. I mean, for the young people, they have already shifted to the virtual world. And if you ask me, it's just a reflection of who we are. We are all connected to one spirit, one source. We need to know each other. It's just that as we journey into this journey of awakening, every generation has something that shakes them. So I believe the heavens were shaken again. And for now, by now, if you're awake, you know that heaven is not a location, but it's a state of consciousness where you know that you are the I am, the divine life, love that's never been defined, that causes the life and gives it a name, and whatever name you shall call it, it shall manifest in your world. And that hell is not a location, but it is you discharging the same life force. Instead of giving it life, you give it a twisted connotation because of your negative thoughts, and it gives birth to demons and devils. And yes, there will be, because whatever you focus your attention, you give energy, you give life. Whatever you behold, you become. And talking about the beholding, deep in my heart, I believe that the message of the kingdom that is going to be preached in the pulpits of the hearts of men, and I repeat, in the pulpits of the heart of men, because your heart is the seat, is the altar of God. It's not even a physical location, but that's all part of the journey. You're going to find some people are no longer going to gather to a place of worship, because for them, they have fully awakened to the I amness in them, while others are going through the Armageddon, where the truth they had been holding on is being shaken, while others don't believe that there's a life force called God, it, energy, life, whatever you're calling it at this level. Because this pandemic that has held the world at hold, and many more are going to come, even in the past, I believe all those are turning points for humanity once again to get on track with the divine purpose, and that is for us to fully awaken that we are God. Are there those in this journey who have become aware that they are the I am? I believe so. I believe so, because I have encountered two of them. Now that is the true man of God, the Paul, the awakened mind. The man of God is that human species who has finally gone through everything that is written in the scriptures, because the scriptures about Christ, they talk about the Christ in man buried in us. He placed eternity in our hearts, in the hearts of men. Now the one who is fully awake and knows that the I am is I am, and can't help but exude divine love that's never been defined, is the kind of man who can fully stand and testify that I am the Christ. You know, the testimony of Jesus is the true spirit of prophecy, meaning if you are that creature who, during this period of 2020, which I feel was an awakening for mankind, and each one shifting to another level of awakeness, has finally had the veil within him ripped open, has finally gone through the Armageddon with them, has finally seen the Christ, that they are the Christ. The appearing of Christ, by the way, is not an external experience. We all start from there. Wherever you are right now, if you're shifting to that level where they're going to tell you to worship an external God, it's all part of the journey, and enjoy it. While some of you are going to be expelled of it, some of you are going through Armageddon. I don't know where you are, but how you've used this lockdown is definitely the awareness that now you are aware of, and that is what is a reality to you, and we all cannot be the same. But for that one who is fully awakened, is bearing witness of the testimony of Christ, and cannot help but operate from the I am divine pureness. Such a person will not judge, such a person will not condemn. He said, neither do I condemn you. Why? Because he has been through all those levels of consciousness. He now looks at you with compassion and says, come on, sister, you can do this. You can wake out of that state and go to another. People have shifted from different states of consciousness. Some are now going to be running to church. Some are going to run out of church. And please do not condemn them. They have outgrown that. That's the schoolmaster, because a child, as long as they're a child, they'll be like a servant until they're ready. Anyway, that will be a talk for another time. For me, it was about consciousness awareness. What has this pandemic brought to your awareness? And whatever awareness it has brought to you, it's causing you to do or become one of the two. If it's external, you're going to do. If it's internal, you are becoming who you know you've always been, the I am. But the transformation is definitely taking place. Will our lives be better? I believe so. It will be hell for you if you've just not used this time to become consciously aware that you're the I am. And hell will wake you up, eventually. Every rotten experience we have in this life burns us, because if you ask me, this is hell itself. It's to awaken us that we are the divine love until we finally awaken to that and bring heaven, which is harmony in your sphere and the sphere of others. Yeah, you'll still keep a burning of your ass. And no, I'm not a preacher. I'm simply a lady awakened, ascending in her consciousness awareness. And I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm going to enjoy it with others. But I believe as we go back to the new normal, for me, I'll call it a new heaven, a new earth, things are not going to be the same, and they will never be the same, and they will keep changing, and each generation will keep having its experience as humanity. Next time, who knows, it could be a huge war. I don't know. Depending on the thoughts of men, who knows? The thoughts of man, the heart is wicked. But don't let this universal pandemic leave you the same. You got to change, and to change for the better. And some, they will change for the worse. But like Shakespeare said, the world is a stage and every man has a part to play, and someone a sad one. I don't know which part you're playing right now, but today in Irene's world, I am Madam Secretary of State. Yes, I'm putting things into order. I am taking control of my life. I am becoming more aware that whatever comes into my sphere of reality, I am the cause. Are you living from the I amness, or are you living from the I amness? The ego. Yeah, you can hear. Just hear how you speak. You'll know whether it's the ego saying, I am, I will ascend unto the throne of heaven. Or is it divine love that has never been defined? I am that I am. That I am never condemns. That I am never judges. And I'm so happy about the love that is being exhibited by people during this time. There's that oneness that we only experience around Easter and Christmas. But now it has taken a pandemic, like in our time, I believe, like COVID, to cause us to screech, halt, and think. Well, I don't know what's going on in your world, but in Irene's world, it's Wonder Woman. It's all about transformation, and she ain't gonna be the same lady you knew before the lockdown. Transformation is definitely taking place within my life, and it is an inward work, no longer an outward work. May you emerge out of this COVID crisis a better humanity, meaning awaken to the divine life that you were, and supply lots of it, because the world is gonna need it at the next stage of our existence. Well, I don't know what it is in your world right now, but in Irene's world, it is what it is.